cry and curse at the wind. He broke his own heart and I watched as he tried to reassemble it. And my mama swore that she would never let herself forget. And that was the day that I promised I'd never sing of love if it does not exist. Darling, you are the only exception. 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 Maybe I felt somewhere deep in my soul that love never lasts, and we've got to find other ways to make it alone or keep a straight face. And I've always lived like this, keeping a comfortable distance. And up until now I have sworn to myself that I'm content with loneliness, because none of it was ever worth the risk. Well, you are the only exception. 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 I've got a tight grip on reality, but I can't let go of what's in front of me here. I know you'll be here in the morning when I wake up. Show me some kind of proof it's not a dream. Whoa, whoa. You are the only exception. 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 And I'm on my way to believing. Oh, and I'm on my way to believing.
Begin now by simply closing your eyes, keeping your spine gently straight, and feel into subtly the feeling vibration of your being. Your being contained in its outline. Many works and sensations going about inside you. This space is claimed automatically in your being's simple existence. Remain in this feeling of your being's sensitive, subtle vibration going on its own. Bringing your gaze to your eyebrow center, breathe along with these waves naturally. Start to notice your breath becoming finer as you feel these subtle vibrations. More refined, your breath easily flowing through the center of your being. Your gaze at your eyebrow center, bringing you closer and closer to the center of yourself. Keep breathing naturally in this space. There is a vibratory center in your being. You will feel God vibrating there. God existing there. So purely and simply. A steady, peaceful calm. He's just there, just remaining. Now allow this vibration, His voice, to speak to you. His voice materially is felt inside your being. It is a vibrational movement. Allow Him to direct you to a part in your body or in your being that is calling out for Him. This may feel like the part vibrates differently or feels different from the rest of your being. very peacefully, making itself be known to you. This part may be sensitive, hurt, or painful. Listen to its feelings. Allow here God's vibrations from your center make His way with His incredibly cool healing, reaching this part of you. Very naturally taking its course, just letting it happen. A cooling harmony of waves is felt here, restoring and healing it. Surrendering to the cause of all existence, God, is humbly healing and is your original nature. Breathe out all resistance, walls, and hesitations, and graciously allow God to happen to you. Surrendering makes breathing life easy. Surrender makes you happy and beautiful. Knowing everything is just fine. Marinating yourself in this calm, divine sensation and allowing yourself to just come to harmony within you, within God, with this simple peace. You may now gently open your eyes.
Hey, family. Welcome to this week's card reading. My name is Ajahn Moggy. I am a proud Unionist, and I am so happy to be doing the card reading for you this week. So, keeping in with the theme of the week, surrender, the theme of the sermon, I am using the Power of Surrender deck by Judith Orloff. Now, anyone on their ascension path really dedicated to the healing work knows the power of surrender. So, the first card that I pulled, surrender unhealthy relationships. Let go of relationships that don't serve you, including unavailable or toxic people. You deserve to be treasured by others and to be surrounded by positive people. You absolutely do deserve that. You are worthy of divine friendships and relationships. These kind of people, they're revealed. And when we begin doing this healing work, we really truly see the truth of the relationships that we've been holding on to. And as we continue to choose love and to move forward in love and peace, these people, they will fall away. And there's no need to hold on to them. They have made their choice, and you will never meet them where they are as you continue to move forward. You would have to lower your vibe to meet them there. Of course, they can always make a choice to meet you where you live. But if they're not willing to meet you where you live, then, it's safe to let that relationship go. And it will always be done in the most compassionate way. You don't need to cut them right off or, storm out in an upset. If you've loved them fully, they will naturally fall away. And the next card is surrender to setting limits. I like the flow these cards are making. It is healthy to set boundaries in relationships. Practice expressing your needs and remember that no is a complete sentence. So when we're talking about the toxic relationships, and then the boundaries card comes up. So these do go hand in hand because, this is often how these people are revealed in our life. The ones, they're not choosing love, they're choosing fear, is when we set a boundary. I read one time that the only people who are upset about you setting boundaries are the people who benefited from you not having any. Having boundaries is incredibly loving. And, it doesn't mean that you have this really incredibly solid boundary that you're not even allowing love in, because you have this fear of being hurt. But it is just, not letting people walk all over you or take advantage of you or, you leak all of your energy to, or, people who feel that they can get a lot from you and they always have before, but you set this boundary and they will fall away. So the last card is surrender to the wisdom of your body. Listen to your body's messages about a person or situation. If you feel physically drained or uncomfortable, be cautious. If you are energized and happy, move forward. So there's definitely a theme here about boundaries, divine relationships. Feel into it. What is your instincts, your intuition telling you about this person? If you feel tired and drained, then that's clearly pointing to an energy leak. And so just, re-examine your relationships, because that is often the place that we leak a lot of energy to these relationships. And set a boundary there. And and see what comes from that. Either they'll meet you where you live or they fall away, and that's okay. But take care of you first. It doesn't feel good. Heal it within yourself and just keep moving forward, keep choosing love. So, so definitely sounds like this is where the collective is healing this week, in our relationships, and really valuing ourselves and really choosing love in all areas of our life, and especially, in our relationships. So thank you very much for joining me for the card reading, and have a great day.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's Sunday service in the Church of Union. I'm Granville Campbell, and it is my honor to do the introduction today. The topic of our sermon for today is around surrender, and it is delivered by our fellow Unionist, Renato. And one of the things that struck me very deeply in Renato's sermon was just how deeply surrendered he has been on his journey once he decided to start letting go of control, which is a thing that I think a lot of us struggle with or have a challenge with at times in our lives. And one of the things for me that has been a particular challenge is around surrendering control and what that felt like, because at times not being in control felt like losing control. And the exact opposite is true. So when I felt surrendered, I felt most peaceful and I felt most in control because I wasn't being pulled on the extreme highs and lows of my emotions, which is something that Jeff and Shaleia touch on very deeply in Wednesday's 7 p.m. class. And I think it's number 77, around faith in God and surrender. And I would encourage all of you to watch that class because there's quite a big piece of healing that happens for the participants in the class. So yeah, just on the topic of surrender, I think it's been a thing that I've had to learn over the course of my life as I've grown more and more, not only through my life, but also through Jeff and Shaleia's work and through being part of the Twin Flames Universe community. The thing that's most important to me, I feel, is that surrender doesn't always look the same for everybody. But I feel like the result is probably the same for everybody. Just a deeper peace and a deeper letting go of the messy feeling or the bad feeling. And so the nice thing is that we get encouraged to feel our feelings all the time, and that's how we connect with life. And that's one of the things that Jeff and Shaleia speak about in terms of raising your vibrational set point as you find greater peace and as you solidify your foundation with God. So I welcome you to just sit back and relax and enjoy the sermon that Renato is going to be delivering today, and how and what surrender looked like to him. Because one of the things he had to let go of was his home country and a relationship that was probably about 5 years long. And so it's my great honor to introduce Renato to you today and to introduce the sermon to you today, and to encourage you to just find the deep peace and healing that comes from being part of the Church of Union and the Twin Flames Universe community. And I thank you for joining us today. So I will see you after the sermon. Thank you so much.
Hello everyone, welcome to another Church of Union Sunday service. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Renato and I am your Minister of Union for today's Sunday service. Before we begin, let's get started with our free opening hymns, followed by our opening prayer. Let's take a deep breath in and free to join us loud or mentally. Please join us for our opening prayer. I am the only child of God, forever part of Him. I am created by Him in perfection, and there I always remain. My mind is my sanctuary, where I keep His holy creation sacred. I will only allow His voice. I will only accept His word. Today I will hear the word of God. I surrender myself to His teachings through His divine channel. I will honor what He has spoken and accept it as His will. I will be obedient to His word, for this is my salvation. In Christ's name, Om, Amen. Hi everyone, I'm so happy to be here with you today, and I'm so grateful for the Church of Union and for Jeff and Shaleia for giving me the opportunity to share a little bit of my journey with you. And I ask God to guide me for this subject. And I was watching a Tifa's class, a Twin Flame Essential School class, and it was about surrender. It was the class number 74, I think, Wednesday, 7 p.m. And Jeff Shaleia was talking about surrender to the change. And I just had this very special memory that came up for me, and I felt guided to share with you today. I lived in Brazil for all my life, and I always had the desire was within myself to live in England. I didn't know why, no explanation for this. I just had this desire. There was nothing specific or special about the country. It's only a desire that I had within myself. And it was like this feeling was with me for a long time. And in 2017, 3 years ago, I felt this call to do the move. But I was in a relationship with a soulmate at that time, a 5 years relationship that I had to let go. I was living with my parents. I love my parents so much. I had to let go to live with them. And my brother, my friends, my dog, my history, not the history, but I mean the house that I grew up, a lot of history and memories and everything so special. And yeah, it was a huge change in my life. And when I took that flight from Rio de Janeiro to Lisbon, I lived in Portugal for a while, I cried for so many hours because I felt like I was leaving behind something, but there was something waiting for me in England. I didn't know why exactly, but I felt very guided that God, that time I was saying universe, the universe would take care of me. And this feeling was like a bliss, was a feeling of bliss, but at the same time excitement and peaceful. Was excitement in a good way. I never felt alone. I never felt panicking about the process. That time I was really, really trusting the process, that I would be fine. My parents and my family, they were so worried about me, of how things would go, but I was very, very relaxed and very happy and very this is a new chapter that is going to start in my life, and there is something waiting for me. I don't know what, but it's going to happen. I just felt so strongly in my heart. And yeah, when I arrived in the UK, it was 3 years ago, November, 3 years ago. I was completely lost because I didn't know anyone here. I didn't have any job or place to stay. it was only me and my 25 kg suitcase on the underground, and I had to get to the hostel. I just had a hostel booked, nothing else, and yeah, I was like, I don't know what's going on, but I trust the universe. That was a moment that I was surrendering. I felt like, yeah, I just let go of fear. I didn't have access to this work. I didn't know about Jeff and Shaleia. I didn't know about the mirror exercise. Of course, I didn't do the mirror exercise at that time, but the feeling of surrender was so strong because I knew something would happen, and it did. I was in London for a week, and then I knew that I supposed to move to the north. Like I felt the call to move to the north. I tried to leave Manchester, but Manchester, something was not working. Manchester for me, I was trying to take that direction. I felt myself try to control the situation at that point. But then everything was like all the doors was closing on my face. That's how I was like, no, it's not this way. It's not gonna work this way. And I asked God for a direction. And time was money because I was spending my Brazilian money in the UK. So £1 was that time £6. So my money was going away. So time was very essential for me. And I started to feel this desperation a little bit. And I cried so much and I asked God for a sign. And then I met a group of students in the hostel. They were from York, is a city in the north of England. And they told me wonderful things about York. And I felt like, yeah, this is a sign because I asked God for a sign. And I'm going to take this step that God is showing me. And I did. Yeah, I don't remember having any fear about it at that point. I took the train and I arrived in York with my 25 kg suitcase and my 8 kg bag. And I knew something, I knew I would be I was going to be supported. And I got a place to live when I just arrived in the city. I got a job in a week in York. And the week after I met my first, I made friends, my first friends in the city and of course in the country. And they invited me for their birthday party. You know, they were twin brothers. Twin brothers. And then I went to their birthday party. Guess who was there? My twin flame. I met my twin flame in that party. And you know, we look at each other, and that night we were already in union. It was a feeling of being home, being at home. Was like, I don't know, you know what I'm talking about when you meet your twin flame. It's just like, you feel this connection, you know, this deep peace and like best friends and partner. So yeah, we were in physical union for 2 years, living together and sharing life and sharing everything of us. But at some point, I was scared of losing my good, and I started to control how things would go. I started to control everything that I could because I didn't want to lose my twin flame. And guess what? We both got triggered. Everything from our pasts came up to the surface. And I didn't know how to heal those things. Of course, he didn't know how to heal, but then he broke up with me on tears. He was in pain, he was suffering, saying that he needed to be single in order to heal himself because he needed to heal his past. And I didn't understand exactly what he was talking about until I started to research about twin flames, because we already knew, we already talked about twin flames before that, but I didn't know about the conception. But then I was still trying to control and control, trying to fix the relationship, and it doesn't work. People who are on this journey know that control doesn't work. But I needed support. I was looking for answers on the internet, and I found so many, twin flame groups. They were teaching separation, but in reality, I found Jeff and Shaleia videos. Jeff and Shaleia videos were one of the first ones that I watched. But at that time, I didn't resonate with Jeff and Shaleia because they looked so peaceful, and they were saying like it's easy to be with a twin flame. And I was like, but I'm not experiencing this peace at the moment. I just wanted to know about runner chaser, how to awaken your twin flame, how to make your twin flame love you, this type of separation consciousness. And then of course I was going on circles on some groups, and I was following their instructions, and everything was feeling so bad. And there was a point that my twin flame and we couldn't move forward. We couldn't take a step forward in our union, or trying to, let's say, I do not say reconnect, because we are always connected with our twin flame, but trying to get back together was so painful, so difficult, because I didn't want to be with myself, and he would reflect back to me. So that was a time for me to surrender to this journey. But I thought surrender was a phase that I needed to keep waiting for the divine timing. Because I was listening these things, from other false spiritual teachers. Yeah, and I was keep waiting, sitting on suffering, feeling bad about myself. And it took a while until I literally asked God, please show me the way. So the same thing that I did 3 years ago when I asked God to show me the way, I did again in the beginning of this year. And God again showed me Jeff and Shaleia's videos. And then I was like, yeah, there is something here. And then I joined the community, Twin Flames Universe, in April of this year. And when I joined the community, I was so willing to do the work. And some people were telling me like, Renato, you look very, very committed. And I was like, yes, because I'm so tired of trying to control how things go. So tired of, those false teachings. I just want to surrender to the process. And then I signed up for Twin Flame Ascension School like the week after. And my journey became easier and easier and easier. And I realized that what I always wanted in my life was peace. Yeah, and I have been learning about unconditional love. This is something I experienced on my union with my twin flame. The unconditional love was real. It is real. But when you experience this separation, you are not aligned with this unconditional love because you are aligned with ego and fear of losing. And this is something that I have been healing since when I joined, the community and Tifas, to let go of the illusion of separation. And as a community, we are healing this together. We are healing all the meanings of separation, all the concepts of separation, and we are just surrendering to the truth that we are not separated from God, we are not separated from our twin flame, and we are not separated from our good, we are not separated from our prosperity, because every desire that you have in your heart is God's desire. And when I find peace is when I recognize that actually I don't have a control about anything in my life, but God does. And it's so much easier when you give to God to sort out. You just have to love yourself. And I have been healing this so much because I was very upset of having upsets. I was upset with myself for having upsets. So even though I was in the community already, I was trying to push the upsets away. Like, yeah, I choose peace, but I didn't want to move through the upset. So that was another piece of the healing, about surrender. Surrender to the process, to the healing. And I'm healing this right now. Yeah, I'm so grateful for, God is showing me the next step. And I think we are healing as a collective to do the mirror exercise that Jeff and Shaleia keeps teaching us and telling us to do every day as part of a routine. And it becomes easier and easier and easier. And your journey becomes easier. And another thing that I was going through as well about surrender was my finances. I was healing poverty consciousness. I'm still healing some layers of it. But I was in a place was in June that everything was falling apart. And my coach guided me perfectly on this healing. And I had this breakthrough. So my twin flame and we signed this tennis agreement together in this place that I'm living now, even though he was with the hairbrush. He left the hairbrush's house and signed this contract with me because I was doing the inner work, and I choose to have my good. But of course, I still have layers of healing to do, and I choose to be compassionate with myself. This is the lesson is, doesn't matter the upsets. What's important is you loving yourself through when you move through the upset. So it's surrender to the healing, surrender to God, that God will show you the next step, and you just trust. So surrender is trusting God, is trusting your journey, that everything is going to be fine. Everything is perfect for you. You are perfect right now where you are. Yeah, and doesn't matter if you are harmonious union or if you are not harmonious union, if you are experiencing separation, disillusion, you can always surrender to something that's presented to you. And yeah, God is so wonderful. Like when you surrender to things can get really easy when when you just give it to God and you just love yourself, when you move through the upsets and love yourself, because I was very worried about the bridge, like to cross the bridge. I was sharing with my discussion group another day that I want peace. I know peace is the other side, but I don't want to cross this bridge with upsets and triggers. But actually, upsets and triggers, they are blessings because they are opportunity for you to choose love and choose love and choose God. If you choose love with yourself, you are choosing God. And of course, everything will fall into place. It's so healing to share, these experiences. And yeah, if you are healing the same things, if you are healing um, surrender, if you are healing anything on your journey that requires surrender, I want to say that we are doing this together. We are doing this together. Everyone is on the same boat. Everyone experiencing different parts of the journey, but at the core, we are together healing separation consciousness in many aspects. And yeah, I I would like to invite you guys to make a new choice today with me, and I choose to make a new choice today to release all the expectations about my future, about how my journey looks like. And yeah, we are one. We are one with God. We are one with our twin flame within ourselves. We are one with this world. We are one with the planet, with the nature, and there is no place for fear. There is no place for ego anymore. Let's keep choosing love. So I feel complete and very happy. So let's go to our closing prayer. Father, I accept your word into my heart. I will honor your will in my life, and I will follow you without hesitation anywhere you ask. I know you guide me to your heart where I belong. I accept that you are everywhere, and your teaching is in all things. God, I know you provide me clarity in this teaching of union, that I may be forever in union with you. I accept that you are in me as you are in my brother. I will not deny my brother your word and will share your teaching with him in any way you ask, and only as you ask. For when I share my salvation with him, I fully claim my salvation and return to you with him. In Christ's name, Om, Amen. Speaking this prayer in your heart means you have accepted that you are on the path of awakening to your true divine nature. This is what it means to be a unionist. Follow the teachings of union with God wherever you find them and purify your consciousness into perfect union with your Creator. Feel free to join us for our free closing Oms. Namaste.
Thank you, Renato, for today's message and for sharing your journey with us. It was great to hear how your journey has unfolded as you were more and more surrendered to the process. And it was awesome to just reaffirm the choice to actually just release expectations on this journey and to choose love again. So thank you for that. And thank you, everybody, for joining us today. We'd like to invite you to visit our unionism.org page on Facebook, where you will find all our past sermons, music and meditations and card readings. Also, please feel free to donate or tithe to the Church of Union so that we can continue to spread the word of unionism around the world. We'd like to invite everybody to please like and subscribe to our Church of Union YouTube channel. And we are now inviting you to an after-church tea time, which is a live discussion by a panel of unionists about today's message on our Unionism Spiritual Discussion group on Facebook. Thank you, everybody, for joining us, and we will see you next week.